Welcome everybody to Casting for Two presents A Perfect Waste of Time. It is back and just kind of shifting things a little bit. This podcast was always meant to be sort of an experiment and go through iterations of what I'm feeling or what I wanted to change or whatever you call it. The previous iteration was just a little bit more of just me talking, which is fine. It's something that I wasn't intending on, which is why then I asked Bruce for help, and with everything negative going on at that time, I just said, you know what, I couldn't do it anymore, so it just kind of sat on the shelf. But I had an idea. Instead of me rocking it solo, instead of guests, I would have friends on the show. And so what better friend to get than, my friend, my, I wish we were lovers, but it's okay. I still love him. Mr. Ryan Furster is here.
Hello, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Was that I've never done an intro with somebody just kind of chilling and waiting. Was that awkward?
Or just throw off your groove. I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of, I don't know. I thought about what to say, and then I was just, I guess it's time for me to say what I was thinking. Okay, whatever. But so part of this, experimental podcast thing is that, again, wanting to get friends on the podcast and just talk about one thing. One topic, one subject, just one. And it could be something that we both might know, one of us might know, or neither of us know. So we got to kind of figure out together what it is. But for this, I knew what I wanted to talk about with you. It's something that I don't think you've talked about publicly. So I knew, but
well, the rash is clearing up, so
perfect.
I don't know if we can stretch this, but go ahead.
It's fine. We'll try. But I've never heard you talk about wrestling.
Wrestling,
ooh,
baby. Oh man, I love wrestling. Yep. Wrestling, so it's been a lifelong thing for me.
Yeah,
like, for real. Like when I was a kid, on Saturdays, my grandma would let me not eat at the table. She would go and my grandma was a newspaper carrier, and so she just had hundreds of newspapers at our house all the time. She would take the newspaper and she would spread it out all over the floor, and she let me eat on the floor as long as I was on the papers.
Yeah,
like a dog trying to, just in case I was like a dog trying to take a leak or something.
Which you often do, though.
I'm like I said, I'm working on myself. I'm doing what I can to get through. So, but yeah, no, that's when I started it, because I'd sit there and I'd watch wrestling on Saturdays, and it was back. It was late '80s, early '90s then, so it was in the swing of Hulkamania, brother,
right?
Or towards the end of it. And then I remember when I was in middle school was when it was just before middle school was when WWE, WWF back then came out with Raw. Yeah. And I watched that every Monday, and I just got hooked on it, and from that, as I got older, I wanted to try and find a way into the business.
Right.
But I had a problem of, what's it called? Severe obesity. Yeah, dude, I was a big old boy, and wrestling is tough. It was more athletic than I had to give at that point.
Right.
But I started working with a local wrestling promotion out of Charleston, South Carolina, called Old School Championship Wrestling. OSCW, check them out. They're going to be at the Windjammer soon, baby, for their summer show. It's going to be good. But yeah, no, everybody at OSCW was great. I got to work closely with a guy named Bob Keller, and he's got some weight to his name in the wrestling industry these days. He's just a great trainer, a great entertainer, and he taught me a lot of things about the wrestling business that you don't learn in a ring. respect, how to treat people,
Right,
you,
right.
you know, how to be a good example, basically. So Bob Keller's a great example, usually. He also DJ'd my first wedding reception or
Oh.
pre-party or whatever. So, but yeah, no, that was fun. He made me dance the YMCA. It was crazy. Um, but whenever I left college, I kind of drifted away from that. Didn't really do much with wrestling until I came to Denver.
Mm.
I moved to Denver early in 2022, and I moved up here and started working in the weed business.
Yes.
Helping grow God's green good. Um, I'm sorry, that was stupid.
I just when you said God's good, I immediately rewound to when you would call it the devil's lettuce.
I have seen the light.
No more is the devil; it's the God good.
Ah, yeah, man. Like it was always funny because I was still working it when Kristen was pregnant.
Uh,
I don't do it anymore. I have a civilian job now.
ah,
I'm no longer serving our state. Um, but like I was still doing it while Kristen was pregnant, and people would always ask me like, "Well, how are you going to tell your son, what you do?"
yeah.
And I was like, "I'll tell him that's how we paid the goddamn doctors. like, how we paid for the apartment, the bassinet, the diapers."
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah, but that's
all the the oh my diapers right there. That's enough to just say fuck.
dude, it's so. But the kids are great. Weed is great. Those are whole other conversations.
Yeah.
Whenever I moved here, I met a fellow by the name of Earth Tone, EARF Tone,
Okay.
and he is on Spotify. He is a rapper. He's a very good friend of mine. He's my tag team partner.
Mm.
He's the Voodoo Vampire. But we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, whenever I got here, I met Earth, and we just started talking about wrestling, and we hit it off really well. And he's like, "Oh man, you got to come out to wrestling training." And I was
Mm.
like, "Okay," because like like I said before, one of the things that kind of held me back was my weight.
Yeah.
But I lost over 200 pounds. I was as fit as I'd ever been in my life, and I was
And you're
like,
also boxing, right?
I had boxed before. I
Yeah.
had boxed before. I haven't really done it much since I moved, but yeah, no. This is my new combat sport.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, yeah, man, you should come to wrestling training. I was like, oh, you guys need referees? I could totally be a referee. He's like, fuck that, man. You can be a wrestler. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, man, you could totally do it. And I was
Yes.
like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, come out. We got a show this Saturday. Come out. It's death matches. And I was like, I'm sold. So yeah, I got to go to the Roxy here in Denver to see Primo's Premier Wrestling, best death match company in Colorado,
Hmm.
the west side of the state. Some would say the world. Um, but yeah, no, I went in, helped them set everything up for it. That was a fun learning experience because I'd never done anything with death matches before. So learning how to set it up because the way that Primos does everything is they do it with no ring, so it's
Mm.
just it's the concrete floor, some bare padding, and then tarps over it to catch everything.
It's
That's it.
like an old school anywhere fall or hardcore kind of thing.
Yeah, but just a little more violent usually.
Right.
Um, like old school Mick Foley
Yeah.
back when he was doing Cactus Jack in Japan with Terry Funk for the King of the Death match.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
No, but I'm familiar with Cactus Jack.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Bang bang
I
baby.
know how like radical he was back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the godfather of it, and since
Yeah.
then, like it's evolved a lot. There's a lot of big promotions that do it too. Ones like probably one of the bigger ones is GCW. They're
Mm.
they're probably the more mainstream one. But they have crazy stuff. Just the light tube, barbed wire, thumbtacks, people getting strung up on stuff. Like it's crazy. Like, and I'd never been to one in person, and
Mhm.
so seeing it from the bottom up and seeing what everybody went through and like getting to help out and like sweep up all the crap between the matches and everything. And like in between matches, I'm like picking thumbtacks out my shoes and stuff. And I was like, I love this. I got to try it.
Yeah.
I got to. And so I did. I went to I went to an actual training, and it was very similar to like the first time I ever did stand up. And it was like, it wasn't pretty and it
Mhm.
was hard, but I loved it. And so I was physically able to start doing it. And so I started training, and that's when I started to develop into the white trash called Lee Ryan Green, baby. I come down from the swamps of South Carolina up here to the mountains of Colorado, not just for the green, for that gold, baby. 'Cause I'm gonna be the champ. I'm gonna take it all, baby. It's gonna be mine.
Which
Bless their hearts.
I am, I'm always uh like I'm a huge fan of your character work because you commit, and I just always enjoy that. So I don't know. A, I could never be a wrestler. But B, if I was, I would just be laughing the entire time. I guess that would be my gimmick, just laughing. I'm just laughing because this is crazy, this is nuts, and
Like that's
I have Lee Ryan
like
Green over here.
so everybody has goals in wrestling. Like
Yeah.
some people want to go far, some people want to do this. My goal is it's a secret goal, and if anybody hears this that's a wrestler, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
But my secret goal in all of this is just try and infiltrate in and make the sourest of pussies smile. Like I just want to make people laugh and just
Yeah.
like break. Like I just want to make people corpse. Like I want to make people be Bill Hader on SNL.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that means if I can get you to break, that means I'm doing a damn good job.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sure there's a blooper reel of wrestlers breaking during their dumb promos or stuff like that. And I don't know
Do
why.
you
I
remember?
don't know why I said dumb promos. F.
No, you're fine, bro. Do you remember Sid Vicious?
Of course.
Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bloopers is one of him where he starts doing his promo.
Mhm.
That's when the wrestlers go on there and they start telling the story, but not in the physical way. It's just
Right.
it's like the story narrative. So he goes in there and he starts and he messes up. He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Can we start? Can we roll again?" And they're like, "We're live, brother." It's like it's like a giant shocked face. It's beautiful.
It's it's funny to think about the amount of behind the scenes that is actually going on in those things, just because I know there's writers, of course, and people
Mhm.
doing the dialogue and all that stuff. And I remember Conan talking about one of his writers left to go work for the WWE and came up with a bunch of The Rock's catchiest taglines.
Nice.
But it's like I love the fact that you were so into wrestling, because I feel like at one point of my life I really wanted to be a wrestler, because I was bit by the wrestling bug in the early 2000s. I came in through WCW before they had that whole revamp and all that, and I just like Sting and Goldberg. Those were my jam. Those were my
The
wrestlers.
Nitro Girl.
Yeah, the Nitro Girls. I didn't care for Eric Bischoff, but whatever. Rey Mysterio, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all of that was just like hell yeah. And then I don't know how it happened, but then my dad and I gravitated to Raw, and then that's when I don't want to say his name, but the beer drinker, glass shattering guy, X Pac, Kane, or Degeneration in general. That was like, oh, who are these weirdos? And of course, Mankind. But
I love Mick.
but and I had we would have gotten along. We get along anyway, but as kids, we would have gotten along very well because I had the toys. I had so many wrestling toys. I had the
Dude, me too.
rings. I had entrance music that I would play for each character as they walked
Nice.
down, and I would set up my own pay-per-view matches and decide who was going to win, who was going to lose. I had like belts that
You were doing the general manager mode
oh
before it
my
was a
gosh,
thing.
yes, and it was just like it was a huge production for me, and me alone, nobody would see this, and I did this for years, and I had so much fun, and then at one point they WCW was purchased, and it just
Hmm.
stopped being fun. They started doing the whole like
Yeah,
separate, wrestlers for SmackDown, wrestlers for
yeah, the
Raw.
different brands. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just, this sucks. I'm not, I'm not into this. But out of the whole televised, well, I guess your televised experience is going to be a lot more than me. Do you have a moment where that was like something that you will never forget, whether it was good, it was funny, it was bad, just maybe not the bad because there's some bad stuff out there, but maybe the funny, that's just a constant thing that you can pull up at any point in time.
Oh my god. So whenever so this past week, we have like a group chat for all the guys and gals and everyone in between at our wrestling gym.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys told everybody that we had a new student that came in this past Sunday, because on Sundays we have a kids class, but it's also just kind of an anybody class. Anybody can, anybody can drop in, and it's always fun to work with the kids. And then after, people usually get some mat time and that kind of stuff. But he said that this new guy had come in and that he had, come to one of our primo shows
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to learn how to do the deathmatch stuff.
Mm.
And so, um, so the guy asked him, like, so did you grow up watching WWE or AEW? Like, what kind of wrestling do you like?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't watch wrestling. I just happened to be at the show and I really liked it and I want to learn how to do it. So like that was one thing recently that stuck with me.
Yeah.
But like probably the one personally that I draw from is I try, like, one of the biggest things about wrestling for me is trying to make people feel things
Mm.
the way that I felt them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying when you were a kid, like when it got you, when it got the
Yeah.
hooks in you, you know. Like I want somebody to feel that way. And like when I try to think of what made me feel a way
Mm-hmm.
was so I never watched a pay-per-view ever. Like
Oh.
we never paid per view for nothing.
Yeah.
So my grandma ain't doing shit. So I would have to wait until it came out on VHS, and then
Oh, yeah.
I would have to be lucky enough to snipe it from any of the other redneck losers trying to snag it from me at Doc 7 Video. And so I happened to get God, what was it? I think it was Royal Rumble '92.
Oh, okay.
No, hold on. I'm sorry, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, look it up. We
I was right. Royal Rumble
There
'94.
we
It
go.
was Yokozuna versus The Undertaker in Royal Rumble '94. I don't really know why I had to get the specifics. Anyways, like it was a casket match, and
Okay.
like it that blew my mind. It's like, oh god, they're gonna die. They're gonna go in the casket. What's gonna happen? Because like, oh, the Yokozuna, he's the bad guy. I can't stand the Undertaker. He's so strong because he's got the power of the urn and Paul Bearer.
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
And just getting really into it, as a kid, and like I felt it, and like I really wanted the Undertaker to win, and like the match goes and goes and goes, and the Undertaker, he looks like he's doing great, and then damn it, Yokozuna's some of his lackeys come out, and they start whooping up on the Undertaker, and Paul Bearer lifts up that urn, oh, Undertaker, that's a terrible Paul Bearer, I'm sorry, and the Undertaker sits his ass up and goes to town whooping on them boys. You know what I'm saying? And and then more people have to come out. And Jeff Jarrett came out with his. This is back when he had that long, flowy, pretty blonde hair, and he'd wear like that kind of that leather daddy white shirt with like the cuts in it.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett.
and the
Talk about Delulu. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Oh, I love me for some Jeff
Oh,
for
I do
for
not care
certain
for Jeff
reasons.
Jarrett. Didn't then, still don't. And I'm just, do you
Oh,
think, no.
Taylor Swift babysat his kids. Come
So
on.
what? So what?
But they come out and they get him.
Mhm.
They get him in the casket, and it's rolling away. And then the light cut out, and oh God, there's lightning and thunder, and oh God, there's a ghost Undertaker rising up above the Titantron. And like, it's all crazy bullshit. It's all insane. Like fights don't go that way, no matter what. Even if you happen to be an undead mortician,
Right.
you know.
Oh.
But like, it was so into it
Mhm.
that like I didn't care how unplausible it seemed, you know.
I
And like
yeah.
that's all I want is for somebody to just forget reality,
Yeah.
enjoy a beverage, some popcorn, whatever, and just start yelling for somebody. Yell for the good, cheer for the good guy, yell for the bad guy, or whatever makes floats your boat. But just have fun.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where you get what you put into it as an audience member.
Right.
Is my opinion.
I too love just the craziness and just the WTF of it all. I did queue up the question because I was so excited to tell you the moment that I will never forget, because
Must know.
I still um seeing this as a kid, now as a older kid, I just don't understand the logistics of it. But I don't feel like anybody else did. Um, do you remember when John Henry was dating the great Mae Young?
Mark Henry, yeah.
Yeah, or Mark Henry. Yeah, sorry, Mark Henry. And he got her pregnant, and she gave birth to a hand.
And yes.
That's just I they showed it. They
So
showed just like,
they did.
oh look,
It
here
was
comes
like a
the
hand covered
baby, and
in
it's
jelly.
just a hand, and it's just what? It's been a while, of course, but I don't remember the logic or the, oh, I guess she's old and she couldn't do anything other than an adult size hand. Um, I don't remember any of it, but that's something that I I will forever be grateful that I will never be able to forget. Even though I forgot John Henry's name, it's Mark Henry, but still, the semantics. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's when I was just like, what is this? What are we watching? Who got a raise for that? Because they deserved it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I like independent wrestling so much. Is
Yeah.
it's very punk rock. It's very do it yourself. It's everybody does kind of what they want to, and like you can see always some crazy things. So go if you see like a poster for some sort of local wrestling, definitely go out and see it. I do have a funny thing about the Mark Henry May Young.
Yeah.
Um, so you do know that hand showed back up later.
It did. Uh,
Yeah, and it was fully grown, and it had a face now.
what? Oh wow, I don't
Yeah.
remember any. When was this?
Oh man, I don't remember when it was, but it did happen. But I remember that Mark Henry tweeted out, "I create generational talent," and that's how I
Oh,
found out about it.
wow. Okay, I need to, because I tried to look up the wrestlers' names and stuff like that, and just because I wanted to make sure that it was still a thing, or if it
Like
wasn't.
trying to whoop your ass.
Well, I just want to see if, yeah, yes, if I didn't just make it up, but also if it wasn't, blacklisted. Because I've well, there's been some drama that goes on and stuff gets.
Seen Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't know if this was going to be featured in there, so I just wanted
Hell,
to make
maybe I might
sure.
be starring in one soon enough. You never know.
Yes, Dark Side of the Ring with Lee Ryan Green. Um,
Oh, dude, I do have some crazy stories. I'll tell you, not on the recording, but if
of
you ever want to know, I've seen some shit.
Oh, jeez. I don't doubt that. I really don't. For the people at home who want to keep up with you or see a wrestling event, where can they do
You can check us out on all the socials. Just look up Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling. We are based out of Denver, Colorado, and we have a monthly show at the Roxy here in Denver, and other various shows throughout the area. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. We actually have one coming up. We have a pay-per-view coming up on Fight TV. Splatterhouse 2. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have a lot of death matches. I may or may not be in there. I don't know yet. We'll see.
We'll see. I just
figure out whose ass I got to kiss to get up in there for that.
Yes.
But yeah. That's going to be Sunday, March 24th. And if you're not in Denver, you can watch that on Fight TV, Fight Plus. You can do a free trial for that. Check it out. Do it.
There we go. And start petitioning now to get Ryan in that death match.
You damn right, baby. I need to bleed for it.
But Ryan, do you think we've wasted a perfect amount of time?
Now we have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for coming on this little journey and just talking about wrestling. Again, I knew that you were the once we started talking about wrestling,
brain, baby, you got. See, we can make it work, baby. You ain't got to wrestle. You can come here. You can be my brains. I'll be the brawn. We make it work.
Well, see, I also just was like, oh, we could have talked about weed.
There's always next week.
Yeah, there's always next time. But anyway, yes, I'll be your manager. Sure, why not? I just if I can, just look like Paul Bearer, then I'm in.
We'll figure it out. We'll start it running.
Yes, perfect. But Ryan, you have a good one, okay?
Oh, brother, I love you, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye.
Bless your heart.
Okay, that's where I stopped the recording.